feel like you have a grasp on what this team's identity has been through the first half of the year?
Oh, I think we have a pretty good idea who we are. Obviously, you always try to continue to improve as time goes on, but we're in a pretty good spot going into the break. I think today's a big game, and it'd be a nice game to win a series here and go into the break and winning a division series, and then you go from there.
Evaldi, the splitter over the last few starts for him, Joe, how much has that evolved over this season?
Oh, I think it's evolved a lot, and I think it's an important pitch for him. It's a strikeout pitch, and he's learned how to throw strikes with it as well and get people to chase. So it's an important pitch for him.
When a guy comes up who there's a lot of attention around, do you pay any extra close attention to what he's doing? I mean, is there a level of excitement even from you as you watch and evaluate Rob Refsnyder?
Well, I think you're always curious, but I think your biggest worry is that a young player doesn't put too much pressure on himself and is able to relax and just play the game. And that's easy to say. It's harder to do. And we try to create an atmosphere that they can do that, and we'll pay attention to that.
Joe, what surprised you about the team first half?
Oh, I think the production out of Alex has surprised me a little bit. I wasn't sure what to expect with 2 years off, basically, and being almost 40. I think the emergence of some of our guys in the bullpen has surprised me, how well they've done. I just didn't really have a good grasp of who Wilson was and who Shreve was. The back end has been really, really good. Not surprised, but, I mean, they've been really, really good. You've seen some guys really make some big steps. Didi, where he started, is being a guy that didn't play every day in the big leagues, that has really come a long way in the first half, has improved in all aspects of the game. And I think I've been surprised in how inconsistent our defense has been. If you look at some of the things that we need to improve on, I would say that was probably top of the list.
Joe, why do you think you guys have had these periods of great play and then followed by poor play, the kind of inconsistency, topsy-turvy sort of season so far?
It's hard to say. I think there's a lot of parity in the game that has created part of that. I think that it seems the games that we don't play well is when we give extra outs. And you can make an error and win a game, but when we give extra outs, it really seems to hurt us for whatever reason. And that's the thing that I think is probably first and foremost needs to be most consistent in the second half.
So you entered the season with a lot of health and durability concerns. Do you feel like you've answered those, or are those things that are going to linger kind of through the second half no matter what?
Well, I feel pretty good about where we're at from a physical standpoint, but I'm sure when Tanaka, if he has a rough start, I'm going to be asked about his health. So I don't think I'll ever get away from that. But I think the way that Pineda's come through the first half, that CeCe's been able to make all his starts, that Tanaka's healthy again, I think is a good sign. And the important thing is, though, that they stay that way as we move forward.
You have an order for the second half?
Yeah, Tanaka, Pineda, and CeCe. And then it goes Evo, and Nova.
Is there any particular thinking behind that, Joe? Just lining it up that way, or does it just feel like that's the...
Well, you're trying to get everyone's pretty much almost equal rest as we move into the second half. Seattle has a good number of left-handed hitters, so for CeCe, we put him there. And it's just pretty much everyone gets about 8 days. It's about the same for everybody.
Is that something you'll consider, Joe, moving CeCe, throwing him against heavy left-handed lineups like he did?
Well, I mean, you could match it up the first time. You can't really know how it's going to play out the rest of the year, as teams are going to make trades and do things. But you don't want to give everyone too many days off, because I think they just get out of rhythm.
You have an off day again that
Monday, which is strange, yeah.
So do you, when you get back into the stretch after that, do you have to think about getting Tanaka as extra rest?
Well, I think you have to see how he's doing, and you go from there.
Would you consider CeCe among your top question marks for the second half?
The ability's there. we know that. You know, I have confidence in him, and we need him to pitch well. I mean, that's the bottom line. We need all the guys to carry the equal load, all 5 starters. You can't rely on 1 or 2 and expect to be in the playoffs. So as a group, they have to do a good job.
So what does CC need to do to be better against right-handers?
It's consistent location is really what it comes down to.
Joe, with all the excitement about Snyder yesterday, what do you remember about your first game?
How nervous I was. I always joke with when I see Rick Sutcliffe, because he told me, he said, "Don't worry, kid, I got these guys. We're facing the Phillies." He said, "Bobby Dernier never swings at the first pitch." And the first pitch, he hit a single to right, and I'm going, "Oh my gosh, here we go." Mitch Williams got the bases loaded with nobody out in the 9th, and we won the game. We had a 1-run lead, and then I proceeded to get engaged that night. It's a busy day.
Did that,
you get any hits?
plan it that way?
Yeah, I did. Got a hit my first AB. My first AB and my last AB. So I knew it was time to retire.
Ken Helm?
So were you planning to get engaged that night, or to ask anyway? Going
Well,
in and then
yes. I had that plan once I'd realized, was told that I had made the team.
Is that opening day?
Yeah, 1989.
that's a good story.
Yeah. It's quite
How'd it work out
kind
for
of
you?
a life changer day. Well, we're still married 25 years later, so pretty good.
And you're still in baseball, too.
Yeah.
Schmidt hit a home run that day?
Who?
Schmidt?
I don't remember, but what I remember about Mike Schmidt was growing up a Cub fan, watching him walk to home plate. And I just kind of went like this and watched all the way and turned around. And in my mind, I was trying to process, was I more in awe that I was on the same field as him, or was I more upset with the turmoil that he had caused my family over the years?